Welcome back, baseball fans, to the 1970 Winter Baseball Classic Tournament. We're into our Elite Eight. One team has already advanced to the Final Four. That is Vancouver Island. And when we look at the overall bracket here, tonight we have a series, Rhode Island and New Orleans. New Orleans gets the number one overall seed as they fared the best in the round of 7, round of 5. With a record of 7-2, Rhode Island got the number 9, beat the number 8 Savannah team to get here. And the math means that Rhode Island would need a little bit of help. Whereas the other series, factoring in records, are best of 5s. Rhode Island would have to win the best of 5 3-2, and then get a tiebreaker and win 4-2, or 4-1, or 4-0. They need to win by at least 2 games. Winning by 1 game will not close the gap in records between these two squads. So what has happened? It's been a long series thus far, folks. Game 1, it looks like Mickey Lolich and the New Orleans squad is just going to run Rhode Island out of the tournament. He throws a 4-hit shutout. They beat up on Mike Kilkenny, a couple of relievers, sprinkling singles, got a big 3-run homer by Yvonne Morel in the 7th inning. It is 7-0, and they get the first win of the series. They need just to win 3-2, or 3-3, basically, for New Orleans. If they lose the series 3-2, but then win the tiebreaker and finish dead even, 3-3, they advance. So they have a pretty big margin after game 1. However, game 2 in Nolens, the tables turn a little bit. Rhode Island sends their number 5 starter, Bobby Bolin, against number 2 starter for New Orleans, Dick Drago. Both teams get off to some early runs here. Batting 4th for Rhode Island is Nate Colbert, who's really been in a slump for that team. He gets his first homer of the tournament. He only had 38 of them in 1970. And they get a couple more. It's a 4-4 game until the 9th inning, when with the bases loaded and 2 outs, an injured Maury Wills at short. So Mcauliffe has to go from 2nd to 3rd. Petrocelli has to go from 3rd to short. New second baseman is some guy named Tony Larussa. He delivers an RBI single in the top of the 9th for Rhode Island to split the first 2 games 5-4. Nice save for Steve Mingori here. To split the first 2 games in New Orleans. So the math would be clear for a Rhode Island comeback. We fly to Rhode Island, the smallest state, for games 3 and 4. And the home cooking, folks, Wally Bunker. He is the number 1 starter for Rhode Island. He throws a 3-hit shutout. They beat up on Jim McLaughlin, and the bullpen's been awful. Gary Wasilewski gave up 5 runs in an inning. 9-0 shutout of their own as they bat around in the 8th inning. This was a 2-0 game until they bat around in the 8th inning, punctuated by a Rico Petrocelli grand slam. And now Rhode Island has a 2-1 series lead. The comeback continues. Which brings us to game number 4 in Rhode Island. And folks, it's palpable. Rhode Island 15, New Orleans 4. They beat up on Don Sutton. In particular, Pete Rose wears Don Sutton out. All you have to do is ask him. And some guy named Rico Petrocelli with another grand slam. That's 2 grand slams in 3 innings. A solo homer. Oh, he had a double that inning. I'm sorry, yeah. 15 runs, and the middle part of this Rhode Island lineup is just been crushing it. Pete Rose bats 3rd. Nate Colbert bats 4th from the Padres. Dick Mcauliffe bats 5th. Rico Petrocelli 6th. Nice little combination of cool players who get on base, get some power there, draws walks. Rose can run bases. Fun team. Rhode Island is up 3-1. All they have to do now, that they're 2 games up in the series, is split the remaining 2 games. Technically, at this particular moment, they are tied with New Orleans and have the head-to-head tiebreaker, but that's why we play games 5 and a tiebreaker if necessary. The overall records of the two squads, when we look at that, New Orleans is 8-5, Rhode Island 9-6. So New Orleans is percentage points better, of course. Both teams 3 over 500. Rhode Island needs one more win. Pitching matchup, though, does not look good for them. After a day off, back in New Orleans, they go to the top of their rotation, which is Mickey Lolich, who threw a shutout for the only win in the tournament. He will go against Rich Hand. 1970, Rich Hand pitched for the Cleveland Indians. He was 6-13 with a 3.83 ERA in 160 innings. And he needs to have the game of his life for Rhode Island. Let's get started. From the Gumbo Bowl here in New Orleans, Maury Wills leads it off. 49 is a K. Jerry Grody to the max, rolls to the pitcher. And Pete Edward Rose, 37, sky's left. I will show, of course, all cards at the end of the video once I know the team that's eliminated. 20 cards. Willie Davis leads off. 4-4, skies it in the center. This is Jim Holt, nice defensive center fielder, 2-2. Julian Javier, 4-11, left X. Left fielder Don Hahn is a 3-5. Makes the grab. And Carlos May. 1-2, grounds a third. All right, we'll start talking about how they play into the Summer League. Nate Colbert leads off the second. He's got a future card in the Summer League, I believe. I think it's 72 cards in play. 67 Ks. All right, Petrocelli. This card is up, and it could be this one, and it probably will be this one. 29 home runs in 1970 with a 261 batting average. And, of course, it's going to come down from what he did in 69, which is ridiculous. 40 home runs and a 1.216 at short. Give me a break. Petrocelli, 38, is a base hit. All right, Dick Mcauliffe. His card is up, but his 73 card is pretty good, as well as this one. 59, short X. This is Tom Matchik, the shortstop. 4E12. And that's a ground ball C. Runner at second, 2 outs for the man, Tony Larussa, the manager of a lot of teams. Grounds a third. Bob Tillman leads off in the second. 1-4. Oh my goodness, 1-4. He's got the 1-4, 11, 12 card, and that's gone. Bob Tillman crushes it. Tillman, I believe, came out of Colorado. I'm not sure. And if he didn't, he should go back, because he's really a good candidate for a Colorado player. Homers, walks, and strikeouts all over his card. Why he bats fourth for this team. Rich Reese, 2-7, base hit. Ken Berry on Las Vegas, base hit to right field. Reese will hold. First and second for rookie Keith Lampard. Grounds a second. Second and third, they'll bring it up for Alan Gallagher. He's already in the Summer League. 2-8. He pops a third with Portland. And Tom Matchik on waivers. 66. Here's a big play. Double one, fly ball off of Hand, and it's a fly ball. Rich Hand gets out of the inning with just the homer as the damage. 1-0 in the third. Don Hahn, 62. Pitcher. I think he's on Arizona with a future card. Jim Holt's trying to get into the Summer League. 2-8, sky's a center. He will probably get into it with either the 70 card, because it's great defense, or a 73 card with the Twins, which is great offense. It's 297. So I'm predicting Jim Holt will be in the Summer League. Maury Wills, 2-7, base hit with 2 outs. He is going to steal off of Tillman's +2 arm. He is safe. Maury Wills was traded in the offseason to Atlanta as they needed a shortstop. They gave up on Sonny Jackson and Marty Perez, and they want solid play if they want to compete for the National League East with the Mets. And so Maury Wills hopes to give a jolt to the Braves this summer. Speaking of Braves Mets, here's Jerry Grody. His card is up. 3-6, sky's the center. Mets fans, be pleased to realize his 1970 card, he's got a -3 arm, and that is going to probably be it. And that's just going to make the Mets a tough team to knock out in the Summer League with all that pitching and defense. All right, Willie Davis, 310, sky's the right. Javier, 57's a K. Carlos May, 45, sky's the center. Pete Rose, 1-7, double 108 is a base hit. Rose is really having a great tournament run, hitting close to 400. Now, his card is up, but he is the most valuable player of 1973. And that will be the card we use this summer, not this one. This card, though, oh my goodness, it's very good. Wow. Based on competition, Pete Rose's biggest competition might be himself. Because this card, it's 316, 37 doubles, 9 triples, 15 homers, 73 walks. And he maybe he shouldn't have won the MVP in 73, so we could use this card. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the draft. Do I take the MVP card away from Rose and go with the 70 card? He is playing in the 70 World Series. He would not be playing in the 1973 World Series. Something to think about. Nate Colbert, 111. That is a base hit because you had to hold Rose on. Another thing to think about. Pete Rose is a B stealer with this card. At a certain point, he turns to a CD stealer. So, another consideration as to choosing which Pete Rose card you want. It could make or break the Reds season. Here's Rico Petrocelli, red hot in the tournament with 3 home runs in the last 2 games and a hit in this game. He's got hit in every game of the series. Petrocelli, 39. He's going to miss it though. Single 1-2, and he lines out. Dick Mcauliffe, 410, center X. Ken Berry's a 1E5. He makes the catch. And Tony Larussa, 37 is a K. All right. Let me get back to Mcauliffe for a second. I didn't give the opportunity to run on that one. Did I roll a B question mark? What did I roll for Mcauliffe? Rewind the video. Oh well, he didn't tag up. We'll just call it the way it is. May have screwed them up because they had Rose at third base on there with 1 out, and I could have tagged up. I didn't do it, so. Tillman, 5'9", second C. That could come to haunt Rhode Island. You have to thread the needle and be perfect. Rich Reese, 2'9", first B. And Ken Berry, 47, is a K. All right, in the 5th, 1-0 game still. Don Hahn, 49, is a K. Jim Holt, 56, triple 1-2, base hit. Maury Wills, 56, is double 1-4, base hit. Runners are on the corners again. They bring it up for Jerry Grody. 47 is a walk. Wolich in trouble. And it is Murderer's Row, the modern version. Rose, Colbert, Petrocelli, Mcauliffe with 1 out. With Rose as a B-bunter, they're going to play it back for double play. The pitch to Pete Rose. 53 off Lolich. Just misses the homer by 1 roll. Has power. Wow. Just misses the grand slam by 1 roll. Ground ball first C. That scores a run. Now you got second and third with 2 outs. Nate Colbert. 65. Short X. Matchic's a 4E12. And he makes the play. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right. Keith Lampert, a rookie, leads it off. Not a very good one either. Probably won't get into the league. 37, though. He just hit his card. His 236 hitting card for Houston. That's a double in 3-7. Has a lot of doubles for what that's worth to go with that 236 batting average. Alan Gallagher, 45, pops the first. Tom Macic, 3-6. Grounds to second. Runner goes to third with 2 outs for Willie Davis. 2-6. RBI single. And it's 2-1. Willie will steal a base if he can. He does. The T rating. He stole it off of Grody. Oh my goodness. -3 arm. He made it. T rating for Grody is T128. And Grody, a rare throwing error plus a stolen base. Well, the Mets are hoping Grody gets those out of his system now. So Willie Davis is on third base with 2 outs in a 2-1 game. And here's Julian Javier. 4-10 off a hand, skies left. Rich Hand has held up nicely today, dueling with Mickey Lolich. With plenty of World Series and experience and playoff elimination experience. Leading off in the sixth for Rhode Island is Rico Petrocelli. 3-12, skies left. Dick Mcauliffe, 44, third X. This is Al Gallagher at third. He's a 3-15. And he makes the play. Tony Larussa, 1-6, grounds a third. All right, Hand's breaking inning. He's held thus far. Carlos May, 3-10, flies right. Bob Tillman, 62, first. Rich Reese, 54, off of the Rich Hand card. Rich Reese, that's gone, solo home run. Both pitchers, Hand and Lolich, have the 5-4 pitcher card. And New Orleans is the first one to get the homer roll. Obviously, Lolich's 5-4 card is a lot better than Rich Hand. 3-1 game. 2 outs and Ken Berry. 45 is a pop to first. 3-1 in the 7th for Lolich. Do we consider any defense to bring in? Well, let's take a peek. Is there any defense to bring in? Yeah, Morel will go into left field. And Lanier will go in a short. Magic moves over to third. So they improve some defense. And Carlos May will be your DH. 3-1 game in the 7th. Don Hahn leads it off. 1-6, center. Jim Holt, 2-6, lines of first. And Maury Wills. 3-10 for Maury Wills is a sky to left field. All right. Stretch time here in New Orleans. We have been enjoying Dr. John's Gree, the Night Tripper, the Walk on Gilded Splinters LP of 1968. The great Dr. John. Okay. We have, leading off, Yvonne Morel against Rich Hand in the 7th. 3-6, homer 1-4, fly ball, and he misses it and rolls a 5. Morel's got a card with Toronto in the Summer League and a future, so he's not under evaluation. Hal Lanier, his card is up, as the Giants didn't need his services at shortstop anymore, so he's out there. They have Chris Spire playing short for the Giants, so Hal Lanier was let go. Had 459 plate appearances for the Giants and 70, but he needs a new squad. And a team looking for a 2E28 short, 311 at second. Hal Lanier's your guy. Here he is. The pitch to Hal Lanier. 312 is a walk. Tom Matchik is your batter. He was in the Summer League last year, and he was put on waivers with a 186 batting average. 65, second X. This is Mcauliffe, a 2E22. That is a 4-6-3 double play. All right, 3-1 game in the 8th. Lolich with Waslewski and Gibbon available in the latter innings if Lolich gets into trouble. He's a starter 7, so we'll see here. Jerry Grody leads off. 63, pitcher X, he's an E11. And he makes the play. If New Orleans were to win this game, they're still going to need somebody other than Mickey Lolich to win a game in this series. Drago, McLaughlin, and the great Don Sutton have not pitched very well. So, Pete Rose, 310, skies the center field. And with 2 outs, it's Nate Colbert. 38 is a base at the right field. Your tie run. The red hot Rico Petrocelli, homers in the previous 2 games. Needs one right here on the roll of a 3-5 or 3-6. The pitch to Rico Petrocelli. 3-4, and he just misses the bomb. Grounding to third base. Tough break there for Rhode Island fans. Bottom of the 8th inning. In a little bit of preventative maintenance, I'm going to take Mr. Hand out of the game. Mr. Hand, after 7 strong innings, he's overachieved and disaster is looming. So I'm going to bring in Steve Mingori. He's got a nameless card. He's already in the league in a future year. He's not under evaluation. Mingori comes on in to face Willie Davis in the 8th. 6-10 is a single. Stealing Willie Davis. But you got Grody the -3 arm. It worked once before. Oh, you got to try it again until he gets thrown out. And he rolls a 10. This is tough. It might be right on the numbers here. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. 10 is it. He's in there barely. Grody can't believe it. Runner at second for Julian Javier. 56. Short X. This is Maury Wills, a 3.32 at short. And that's an error. And this is trouble now. Runners to the corners. They're bringing up for Carlos May. 57's a K. Batting for Bob Tillman will be Ron Brand. Runners on the corners, 1 out. They bring it up. 1-4 pops to second base. Ron Brand would have hit a 3-run homer. That's a bad move by the manager there. With 2 outs, it's Rich Reese. 6-12, skies to right field. The Rhode Island squad is still in this game. It's only 3-1 in the 9th. And Mickey Lolich has pitched, given up 1 run in 17 innings in this series. And his team still needs more work to finish them off Rhode Island. Dick Mcauliffe in the 9th. 3-6, grounds the first. Larussa, 55, is a double. Off the Lolich card. The tie run is Don Hahn, who has no home runs. Don Hahn, 69, rolls a second. We have a runner at third with 2 outs for Jim Holt. He also doesn't have any homers against lefties. 58 off of Lolich is a strikeout, folks. Just too much Mickey Lolich getting another tune-up start in. World Series runner-up to the Mets last year, the Detroit Tigers, and Lolich looks primed for another great season. He was 14-19 with this card in 273 innings in 1970, 3.79 ERA. And you know what? They're not even using this card. The Tigers have a future Mickey Lolich card in play anyway. But he thought he would just come down for spring training and get some extra work in. And he's got 2 wins, both wins, New Orleans in this series. Lolich, 8 hits and a run, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, and a complete game. Mingori, a hit and a K in relief. Rich Hand, a tough loss. He really did pitch overachieve there. 7 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs. Will Rich Hand get drafted in the Summer League? This performance might certainly help him. Let's see here. We've got 3 earned runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. 1009, 0108, 3718, 1513, 1315. Okay, so the 5-game series is over. Rhode Island wins the quantity of games 3-2. However, they still trail the overall record of the New Orleans team, as you'll see, which is why we need a tiebreaker. With the win, New Orleans is now 9-5, 4 games over 500, and Rhode Island is only 9-7. So you can't eliminate New Orleans. We have to have a tiebreaker. After the tiebreaker, worst case, both teams are 3 games over 500, but Rhode Island would be +2 head-to-head at that point. So that's why we need a tie-breaking game here. And I will play the tie-breaking game and report back at the end of the video with the teams' cards that get eliminated. Probably one of the best series I played yet in this. 3 games to 2 with a tie-breaking game coming. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time. Baseball fans, so what team lost Game 6, the tiebreaker? Unfortunately, it was the Rhode Island squad. Lost another one. Played in New Orleans. They lost to Dick Drago. Bobby Bolin lost to Dick Drago. And New Orleans splits 6 games in this to continue in the tournament, and Rhode Island gets bounced. With an overall tournament record of 9 wins, 8 losses. Certainly deserves to get bounced, I guess. And New Orleans is 10-5. That's why they continue. Let's go take a look at the 20 players here. I'm going to start by looking at players who are already in the carryover league in a future year. One of them is Don Hahn. This would have been a nice card. He has a better card defensively and offensively for the Arizona expansion team. We have a nameless card for Steve Mcauliffe because Strat did not make his... and when I say they didn't make his card, I'm talking about the original super expanded card set that this is, which was printed probably in the early 1980s. Now they've reprinted this set, and I'm sure they have Mcauliffe card there, but in 70 he only pitched 20 innings, so he does not have a 70 card. He's property of the Cleveland Indians in the Summer League. Petrocelli got himself a World Series ring with the Mets last year as a righty specialist who gets lefties out. And he's kind of like that here. Not as good, though. He's much better with his future Met card. This is with the Mets as well. ERA is 3 here. It gets down to 2 by the time he's on the Mets. John Jeter has a stunningly good card for the Ohio players in one of the future years. He played for the Pirates, I believe, yeah. And, gosh, Pittsburgh was so talented. Guys like this just wallowing on the bench. This card's not that great, but don't worry, Ohio has a better team in the future. And then Nate Colbert, believe it or not, they have a future Nate Colbert card. They didn't select this one. This was the card I said was in a slump in the tournament, and he finally hit one of those home runs. Had 38 of them, but he also had 150 strikeouts, which was a lot in this era. But he has a really good 71 or 72, and the Padres are using that card. Okay, now we're looking at players whose cards are up, and it's about evaluating which card is taken from the years 70 to 73. Atlanta traded for Maury Wills because they had no shortstop. They'd given up on a bunch of different prospects, including Sonny Jackson and Marty Perez. Decided to make the leap for Maury Wills. Maury had moved around a little bit later in his career. He moved back and forth from the Dodgers. He played for the Expos in their expansion year. Played for the Angels last year. And now he will really stabilize the Atlanta infield with this particular card. They're going to select this card. Will the Braves. Jerry Moses' card is up with Boston. Really not a big deal. They have Carlton Fisk. So they just need a backup catcher. And Moses played for the Red Sox. So he's fine. He'll definitely be in the league. It's a question of does Boston need him specifically to back up Fisk? They could use anybody to back up Fisk. All right, here's Petrocelli. He was on a torrid streak in the middle of the series you just saw. He cooled down when the series went back to New Orleans, unfortunately. This card is a very excellent card, as you can tell. However, it is a dramatic step down from what he did in 1969 when he was a 2 E16 at short, and he hit 40 home runs. He's still hitting 29 home runs with a 261 batting average. So it's still a fantastic year. Let's not take that away from this guy. And you could have all that production out of the shortstop position if your heart desires, though I think they plan to move him to third base. So it's win-win for Boston, but my goodness, the 4-year run of that Petrocelli card of 1969 is finally over with. I think that's one of the cards that gets kind of lost with all the other superstars in the sport and all the Hall of Famers and so forth. The Willie McCoveys and Frank Howards and Rod Carews and Pete Roses and Tom Seavers and Johnny Benches. The Rico Petrocelli 1969 Strat-O-Matic card. All right, talked about Pete Rose in the video that he is your National League MVP in 1973. But before we commit to that, just consider how magnificent this performance is in 70. He hit 348 in 69. He comes off of that as a 1-2E1 in right field. The top line is all B on a 16 runner, right? He has power both ways. This is Pete Rose. Power both ways because he hit 15 home runs. 37 doubles, 9 triples, 73 walks, a 316 batting average. I believe he hits 338 or 339 in 73. That would probably be the card we pick. But I really want to go under the microscope when we see a 73 card and see if he is not leaving some of this on the table by skipping this year. Remember, he goes to the World Series with this card. And he would be, based on the card structure, the third best hitter on this team in 1970. He's got the 15710 card, meaning that they had two other guys hitting better than 316. One of them was Bobby Tolan. Bobby Tolan will have the 25-10 card. And then there's one guy with a 15-10 card on that 1970 roster. And I think it's Tony Perez. Trying to think off the top of my head here. I think it's Tony Perez. Because Bench has the 210 card. Bernie Carbo has a 18 card. Anyway, just you can't. It's the Cincinnati Reds, folks. I mean, you can't go wrong. They're just going to be, contending for the League Championship Series, World Series for the next 10 years. That's the way it is. No matter how the roster is constructed. Detroit Tigers, boy, what a fun team. They're a fun card set to play. They got a lot of veteran guys in their 30s who continue to play very well, including Norm Cash, Al Kaline, Jim Northrup, Willie Horton, Lolich, Mickey Lolich, Mcauliffe. This is a nice card. Batting average is a little bit on the low side, 234. 101 walks out of a left-handed hitting second baseman with power. That should get you in the league, but he's got a very good 1973 card. And that will be the card that is selected, I believe. All right. There's one number on the Jerry Grody card to pay attention to, and it's right here. -3 arm. That's what the Mets want. He could hit 300 with a -2 card, and they'd ignore it. They want the -3 if they can get it. He does it here. I'm not sure if he does it again in future years. But he'll bring some bunting and hitting and running just in case. Hits lefties nicely. No power. Not very good against righties, but so what? We're talking the Mets. They're used to not getting hitting. They just want to make sure that you do not run against the Mets. You hit into double plays because you're hitting ground balls to Bud Harrelson all day long, and you can't get on base because you got Seaver, Kuzman, Matt Lack, Tug McGraw, etc. I think this will be the Jerry Grody card the Mets take. All right. Now we're looking at some guys who were put on waivers. And surprisingly, one of them is this guy, Wally Bunker. He was put on waivers by Kansas City because they have an abundance of pitching in their system. But Wally is still a starter 7. Now, he doesn't pitch on 3 days rest anymore. He only pitched 122 innings. The stats look bad at first glance, 211, 420, but it's really not a bad card. He's got a little bit of trouble keeping the ball in the ballpark, evidenced by the home runs here. But what I like about this card is the 111, all these chances that are going to frustrate the offense. Triple one fly ball, single one at 8, double one at 7, and a 50-50 single one at 10. That kind of would encourage me, plus his start of 7. Someone's going to take a chance on Wally Bunker in the Summer League. Willie Smith was put on waivers. He was primarily just a pinch hitter for the Cubs during this period. By this point, the Cubs also had Ernie Banks moved over to first base, trying to figure that position out. I just don't think he's got enough gas left in the tank to justify a corner position, a coveted corner position. 216 batting average, even with a little bit of power, is just probably not going to cut it. Kilkenny was in the league last year, but his numbers have slid significantly from last year. He's now with an ERA of 5.16. I know he's left-handed, and as a left-hander, you can get into the league as a lefty reliever if you are halfway decent. He could get into the league as a left-hander who doesn't have control, very good control. The homer 1-4 fly ball is nice. And as a left-hander, you're not even concerned too much against what happens against righties. Actually, you wish he got lit up more against righties and was better against lefties as a preference. He's going to have to fight and get into the league, but throwing left-handed helps him tremendously. This is a nameless Paul Doyle card. He only pitched 42 innings in 1970. He will not get into the league. I don't let nameless cards into the Summer League. Here's the Tony Larussa card of 1970 for Oakland. It's funny, it's not that bad a card. It's a 198 hitting card. But when you look at it, the walks make it look a lot better. Unfortunately, as a utility player, you need more positions. Frankly, the hitting is not bad enough to get him kicked out of the chances of getting into the draft. The lack of position versatility is, not to mention his top line's not very good. Don't think Tony's going to make it. Unless I get sentimental and I want him in the league because of name recognition in a second base platoon with a left-handed hitting second baseman who plays multiple positions and candidate left-handed pitching. That's how you make him a candidate. All right, another rookie whose time is arriving is this gentleman, Jim Holt. Look at the great defense in center field. That should just get you into the league. As a left-handed bat, you don't have power. Now, if you had power, it's a lock. You're in. So, but he's a B-hitting runner, which isn't bad. The split over here is nice versus that. He sits like 266. And there it is, 266 exactly. The good news is he has a better card in 1973. So either that card or this card will most likely get into the league. Jim Holt is coming to the Summer League. Or we got some pitchers who are clearly struggling here. Tom Murphy. His team was the Angels. We mentioned they weren't that good in 1970. He did his best. 227 innings as an inning eater with a 4.24 ERA, and look, he won 16 games. Gave up a lot of homers, though. I wish he could relief come out of the bullpen, but if a team needs an innings eater, they might turn to this guy. But if not, he might not get into the league. Rich Hand pitched in the game you saw. And when you look at this card, it was remarkable that he held his own against Mickey Lolich. That's just too many homers. 4 and 5. Too many homers for my comfort level. And then a righty who's not good against lefties either. This one's going to be really tough. I can see why he was not drafted in the last 3 drafts. The homers are 27 in 160 innings. The best stat I can see here is the earned run average, 383. This is like an ERA of 455, something like that. But didn't give up a lot of hits otherwise. I think the 6-13 record is indicative of the 27 homers he allowed for Cleveland. I don't think he's going to get into the league. He could get in. I'd be more comfortable with a long man. But again, right-handed long men are easy to come by. And our last card for tonight is Bobby Bolin. Pretty much in a similar boat with Rich Hand. Probably competing for one of those last spots in the league as the last right-handed pitcher, your long guy. 7-11, 463. Similar homer run per 9-inning ratio. It doesn't matter. This is a jag. He's just a guy. He doesn't suck too much, and he might get in the league. That's the best thing I could say. And so that's it tonight, reviewing Rhode Island's team as we get through the Winter Baseball Classic. Thanks for checking out these videos. We'll see you next time.